Everyone. Today, I want to talk about something we all face at some point in life, dealing with people who don't respect us. Whether it's a coworker, a friend, or even a family member, disrespect can be frustrating and hurtful. But how we respond to it says a lot about our strength and self-worth. One of the most powerful ways to deal with people who don't respect you is to set clear, firm boundaries. Boundaries are not about pushing people away or being harsh. They are about protecting your peace and making your needs known. When someone disrespects you, it's often because they believe they can get away with it, either because you haven't said anything or because you've allowed it in the past. But you have the right to decide how others treat you. That begins with identifying what behavior makes you uncomfortable or disrespected. Once you recognize those behaviors, you need to communicate them clearly and assertively. For example, if someone constantly interrupts you or speaks to you with sarcasm, tell them directly that you will not continue the conversation if that tone continues. If a friend jokes at your expense in front of others, let them know that while you appreciate humor, making you feel small is not okay. Setting boundaries means saying no without guilt and standing firm even when others don't like it. It also means being consistent. Don't say one thing and then tolerate the opposite. When you respect your own limits, you teach others to do the same. It may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to keeping the peace or avoiding conflict, but in the long run, boundaries lead to healthier, more respectful relationships. They give you control over your own space and protect your emotional well-being, and that is something no one has the right to take from you. When you're dealing with someone who doesn't respect you, standing up for yourself is essential, but how you do it can make all the difference. Responding calmly and assertively shows strength without aggression. It's easy to lose your temper when someone is rude or dismissive, but reacting in anger can sometimes escalate the situation or even give the other person a reason to ignore your feelings altogether. Instead, use a calm tone, steady body language, and clear words to express how you feel and what you expect. Standing up for yourself isn't about winning an argument, it's about affirming your worth. For instance, if someone talks over you or minimizes your opinion, you can calmly say, "I'd like to finish what I was saying," or "I deserve to be heard just like everyone else." The goal is not to make the other person feel bad, but to make sure your voice is not silenced. This takes confidence and practice, especially if you're used to staying quiet to avoid conflict. However, the more you speak up for yourself in a calm and collected way, the more you reinforce your inner strength. People tend to take you more seriously when you speak with clarity and composure. By not allowing disrespect to slide and by handling it without hostility, you show that you won't tolerate poor treatment, but you also show that you don't need to stoop to their level to make your point. It sends a powerful message that you value yourself enough to demand respect and you have the self-control to do so with dignity. When faced with disrespect, it's natural to feel a rush of emotions: anger, hurt, frustration, or even embarrassment. But one of the most effective things you can do in that moment is to pause and avoid reacting emotionally. Emotional reactions, especially in the heat of the moment, can often make things worse. They can cloud your judgment, escalate the situation, and leave you feeling regretful afterward. People who disrespect others sometimes do it intentionally, hoping to provoke a reaction or gain control by getting under your skin. By refusing to take the bait, you show them that their behavior won't derail your inner stability. This doesn't mean you ignore your feelings or pretend everything is fine. It means you take a breath, step back mentally, and choose your response with care. When you respond calmly and thoughtfully, you maintain your power and protect your peace. It's okay to walk away from a conversation if you feel overwhelmed, or to take time before responding, so you can process your feelings and decide on a clear course of action. You don't owe anyone an immediate reaction, especially when their words or actions are harmful. Emotional discipline is not about bottling things up, it's about channeling your emotions in a way that serves you rather than sabotages you. Over time, staying calm in the face of disrespect builds your resilience and shows others that you cannot be easily shaken. It earns respect not just from others but from yourself, because you're choosing self-control over chaos, dignity over drama. There comes a point when the most respectful and self-protective thing you can do is to limit your contact with someone who consistently disrespects you, or walk away entirely. While it's important to try communication and boundary setting first, not everyone will respond with change or accountability. Some people are committed to their patterns of negativity, manipulation, or control, and continuing to engage with them only drains your energy and damages your self-esteem. You are not obligated to maintain a relationship, whether personal, professional, or social, if it constantly makes you feel small, devalued, or emotionally unsafe. Limiting contact might mean spending less time with the person, changing how you interact, or avoiding certain conversations. In more severe cases, it may mean cutting ties completely, especially if the disrespect is ongoing and harmful. Walking away doesn't make you weak, it shows strength. It means you are choosing your mental and emotional well-being over the illusion of keeping peace with someone who doesn't treat you with basic decency. People might judge your decision, or the person you distance yourself from might try to guilt you back into their space, but you are not responsible for their comfort, you are responsible for your own peace. Letting go of disrespectful relationships can be painful, especially when emotions or history are involved, but it opens the door to healthier connections and a stronger sense of self. By removing yourself from toxic interactions, you make a clear statement: you respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that threatens your inner balance. It is not about punishing the other person, it is about protecting your own peace and reclaiming control over the environments you allow yourself to be in. At the core of dealing with disrespect lies a deeper truth: how you view and treat yourself sets the tone for how others will treat you. Building self-respect and confidence is not just a defense mechanism against disrespect, it's the foundation for a strong, healthy life. When you truly respect yourself, you stop tolerating things that go against your values, your peace, or your worth. It begins with the small daily choices you make, like speaking kindly to yourself, acknowledging your achievements, and giving yourself credit for your efforts, even when others don't. Confidence doesn't mean you're loud or always sure of yourself, it means you know who you are and what you deserve, even in moments of doubt. It grows when you challenge negative self-talk, set healthy boundaries, and pursue your goals without constantly seeking outside validation. People who struggle with confidence often accept poor treatment because they've been taught to believe that they're not worthy of more, but that belief can be unlearned. You build confidence by taking care of yourself, standing up for yourself, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift rather than diminish you. And when you begin to act with self-respect, something shifts: others start to notice. They either rise to meet the level of respect you demand, or they fall away because they no longer have power over you. Confidence also gives you the strength to walk away from what doesn't serve you and to trust your own judgment. It becomes a shield against disrespect because you no longer need approval from anyone who refuses to see your value. You become your own source of strength, and that inner security makes you unshakable, even in the face of negativity. Another powerful way to handle people who don't respect you is to stop seeking their validation. Often disrespect becomes more painful and confusing when we crave approval from the very people who fail to give it. This might be a parent, a friend, a partner, or even a boss, someone whose opinion we've placed on a pedestal. But constantly trying to earn respect from someone who withholds it can become a cycle of emotional exhaustion and self-doubt. You begin to question your worth based on their inability to recognize it, and that can slowly erode your self-esteem. The truth is, respect is not something you should have to chase. It is something you deserve, simply by being human. When you stop looking to others for validation, especially those who disrespect you, you reclaim your sense of power. Their approval or lack of it no longer defines your value. Instead, you begin to focus on your own inner compass, your own voice, and the people in your life who do see your worth. Letting go of the need to be liked or validated by everyone allows you to live with more freedom and authenticity. You no longer need to perform, overextend, or shrink yourself to fit into someone else's narrow definition of respect. This shift won't happen overnight, especially if you've spent years trying to prove your worth to others, but it begins with one decision: to value yourself more than their opinion. And once you stop giving their judgment the power to shape how you see yourself, their disrespect loses its grip on you entirely. Choose your battles wisely when dealing with people who don't respect you. Not every disrespectful comment or action deserves your energy or attention, and learning to discern what's worth addressing and what's better left alone can protect your peace. Some people thrive on conflict, enjoy provoking others, or are simply incapable of meaningful change. Engaging with them repeatedly, especially when it leads nowhere, can leave you feeling drained, frustrated, and stuck in a cycle of tension. It's important to recognize when speaking up is necessary, and when silence, distance, or disengagement is the stronger response. This doesn't mean ignoring every offense or becoming passive, but rather being strategic and emotionally intelligent about where you invest your time and reactions. If someone makes a one-off comment that's rude but minor, it may not be worth turning into a confrontation, especially if addressing it won't lead to growth or change. But when patterns emerge or the disrespect is severe, that's when your voice and boundaries matter most. Learning to let small things go without compromising your dignity is a sign of emotional maturity. It shows that you are in control, not reactive, and that your peace matters more than proving a point. Choosing your battles is not about weakness or avoidance, it's about prioritizing your mental and emotional health. When you fight every single insult or challenge, you risk becoming consumed by negativity. But when you focus your energy on what truly matters and where it can make a difference, you act from a place of strength, not insecurity. And in doing so, you take back the power that disrespectful people hope to steal with every careless word or action. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and respect you is one of the most transformative ways to handle ongoing disrespect from others. It's easy to focus all your energy on the few people who treat you poorly, trying to figure out what you did wrong or how to earn their respect. But often that focus distracts you from the people in your life who genuinely value you, support you, and treat you with kindness. Being around respectful, compassionate individuals reinforces your self-worth and reminds you of what healthy relationships look and feel like. When you're consistently exposed to love, encouragement, and mutual respect, your standards naturally rise, and you become less tolerant of poor treatment. You begin to understand that disrespect is not normal or acceptable, and you no longer feel the need to justify or excuse it. These positive relationships help you rebuild confidence and create a sense of emotional safety that allows you to grow, speak openly, and be yourself without fear of being belittled or judged. Sometimes when we're stuck in environments where disrespect is common, whether at work, at home, or in certain social circles, we forget that better exists. That's why it's so important to intentionally seek out and spend time with people who see and appreciate your true self. These connections don't have to be large in number. Even one or two strong, respectful relationships can provide the grounding you need. They give you perspective, remind you of your value, and make it easier to walk away from toxic situations. When you choose to invest in people who uplift you, you're also choosing to invest in yourself. You're choosing peace, growth, and mutual respect over chaos and emotional harm. The more you build a life surrounded by those who treat you with care, the less space there is for anyone who doesn't. Practice emotional detachment when dealing with disrespectful people, especially when their behavior becomes a recurring pattern. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about everything or become cold and indifferent. It means you learn to protect your inner world from being dictated by the negativity of others. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to internalize their words or actions, to let them shape how you feel about yourself or how your day unfolds. But when you detach emotionally, you give yourself space between their behavior and your sense of identity. You begin to realize that their disrespect says more about them than it does about you. It might stem from their own unresolved issues, insecurities, or a need for control. Instead of absorbing their energy or reacting from a place of pain, you step back and observe with clarity. You start to see the pattern rather than take it personally. This doesn't mean you tolerate mistreatment, it means you don't let it define you or hijack your emotions. Emotional detachment allows you to make clearer decisions about how to respond, what boundaries to reinforce, or whether to walk away altogether. It also helps you maintain peace in situations where you may not be able to completely avoid the person, such as in a workplace or family setting. By choosing not to emotionally invest in their disrespect, you protect your self-worth and avoid being dragged into emotional chaos. Over time, this skill becomes a kind of quiet power. You stop giving your energy away to people who haven't earned it. You remain centered, calm, and grounded, no matter how others behave, and in doing so, you take back control, not of them, but of yourself. Developing a sense of empathy toward those who disrespect you can sometimes provide a surprising amount of peace and clarity in how you handle the situation. While this may sound counterintuitive, especially when someone has been particularly hurtful or rude, understanding where their behavior comes from can help you respond with more patience and less emotional charge. People who disrespect others often do so because of their own unresolved issues, insecurities, or negative experiences. They may have grown up in environments where respect was not modeled or where their own emotional needs were not met. This does not excuse their behavior, but it can help you see that their actions often have less to do with you and more to do with their own pain or personal struggles. By recognizing that their behavior is more a reflection of their internal struggles than a personal attack on your worth, you take away some of the sting from their words or actions. This doesn't mean you tolerate their disrespect, but it can help you detach emotionally and see the situation more objectively. By cultivating empathy, you also create the mental space to respond with more grace, perhaps even giving the person the benefit of the doubt or choosing not to engage in a cycle of negativity. It can also prevent you from internalizing their disrespect, allowing you to continue maintaining your own self-respect without being weighed down by theirs. Empathy doesn't require you to be a doormat or to accept poor treatment. It simply allows you to see the situation from a more compassionate perspective, which can help you move forward without carrying emotional baggage or resentment. It enables you to choose your responses with wisdom, rather than reacting impulsively out of anger or hurt. In the end, this shift in perspective can be liberating, as it allows you to protect your emotional energy while maintaining the understanding that everyone is fighting battles you may not